For more on this internationally troubling situation, Global Affairs Analyst Gbenga Onifade joins me via Zoom from the United Kingdom. Good to have you join us.
Good afternoon.
So the latest we have now is that Israel's security cabinet has authorized Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his defense minister to decide when and how to retaliate. What do you make of this?
Yeah, so I believe this will be a lot more measured approach by Israel compared to the way they have attacked Palestinians. Because if you think about it, I think there was an attack by Iran in April, for which it was actually very quite measured and controlled. That's number one. Number two, Israel is already very stretched out right now. So and Hezbollah at the moment, they know Israel well inside out. Hezbollah, I think there's always been a caution with Hezbollah getting involved in the war. Hezbollah is not Palestine as well. I think they're a lot more powerful. They know each other inside out. So yes, I think, and of course, I think what Benjamin Netanyahu gets, it could be a little bit more more wild in his approach. And but this is somebody who still relies on the West, for his strength. You need the United Kingdom, you need the United States and Germany, etc. But at the same time, I don't see this, going on into an outlaw, into a total global warfare, because there's a lot more to lose than to gain, as it already is. So yes, it will be a lot more measured and controlled.
Western governments, are also urging Israel to show restraint in its response. You have said that this might be a lot more measured response compared to the one we see on Hamas. But Israel is under pressure, not just internationally, but also from its citizens who are saying, look, it looks like the Netanyahu government isn't doing enough in terms of security. And so when you consider that, how measured do you think that the response and retaliation will be?
Well, I think we've got to say something, which is what Hezbollah have actually not claimed this attack. I think one thing they said was that, yes, they understand there was an attack, but it didn't exactly come from them. And what Israel have actually said is, we believe it came from yourself. There are quite a group of 6, 7, smaller enclaves in Lebanon, by the border. And, if they might not directly be under Hezbollah, I think they might be under Hezbollah general control. We've got the Hamas, we've got a few other ones over there. But like we said again, this might be, number one, a measured control, number one. Number two, I think there'll be a lot more political strategy that's going to go on from behind. And again, Israel does not want to be a lot more isolated than they already are. Yes, they've been funded by United States, by United Kingdom, but there will become a time whereby we're just going to say enough is enough. We cannot afford this. Yes, of course, Blinken said Israel's got the right to defend themselves, and nobody's denying that. But at the same time, there will come a time Israel does not want to get a lot more isolated than they already are. I think the cry and the noise is getting a lot more. And if you think about 2006, for example, when Israel had a lot more destruction in Lebanon. But again, now with drone strikes, I think since then, Hezbollah has actually gone a lot stronger. They've got a lot more countries in the Middle East still backing them. I think the recent drone footage that they showed, they know Israel inside out. And of course, if they're going to strike, I think Israel probably will get a lot more hits. And they don't want to do that. It will unsettle them. So they will still remain a lot more cautious, but they will introduce more political strategies. Because like we say, weapons doesn't really win war. It's actually more about the political strategies that would have to be involved.
The biggest concern right now for the international communities and across the region is of an escalation, in that region. And what that would mean for international security. Is that region now at a tipping point in terms of its security?
I think so. I believe it's right. It's at a tipping point, but also the major superpowers in that region. They are saying things, but of course they do not want to get involved. Iran is talking, and Iran is actually Iran is talking about its readiness to get involved. But at the same time, they don't want to get involved. Hezbollah, despite denying it, they've actually said, listen, this is more about the United States and less about you, Israel. Egypt is also coming out and saying, we believe You know, we don't want this to go into an all-out global war. So I think, yes, the mega powers around that region, they are talking, they're coming out, but at the same time, they're talking about their resistance of not, or their willingness not to get involved. So yes, I don't see this going any further out at all. I think, like I said again, there will be a lot more political ways to resolve it. You know, because Hezbollah they rarely come out with a lie, but at the same time, they are bold. And for them to, you know, to outright not just accept it and say, listen, this is our fault. We do this, like they say in Nigeria, with our full chest. They're not owning up to it. So I don't see this going out any further. There might be the odd cries, or you would know, you don't want to. I don't think it will go any further. Yes, the regions literally at a tipping point. You might get the odd, the odd drone strikes here and there, but it will not escalate beyond where it is right now.
All right. So I just wanted to say, because children died in this particular attack, and so you have said that Hezbollah has not taken responsibility, which is true. But would it be easy to take responsibility when it's children, you know, that are concerned? And I also just wanted to confirm, you know, in just a minute, if you can answer this question, you know, what this means for Benjamin Netanyahu when 2 attacks is just under his administration.
Children, well, you know, innocent children were murdered in this case, really. Like you rightly said, you know, there's been a lot more strikes. You know, Benjamin Netanyahu had to cut short his holiday. And if you think about his approach right now, it wasn't just wild misfiring and just hitting back straight away. He had to take a call, consider, you know, his MOD and what do you think. And in fact, there's been a lot more protests, even some people calling for head of Hezbollah's head, say, you know, we want him murdered. We want, you know, they are making calls, what they want. They believe Hezbollah is part of Lebanon government. But at the same time, they're making demand does not mean the demand is going to get fulfilled. Again, Benjamin Netanyahu is a lot stretched as it is. The defense department are stretched. But I believe they will get more engagement, and they probably will get more. You know, the people that are supplying them the weapons, they get them more involved in the conversation.
Thank you so much for your time, as always. Global Affairs Analyst Gbenga Onifade. Let's turn attention now to other stories. The Russian leader, Vladimir Putin, has warned the U.S. against deploying long-range missiles in Germany.